Yesterday we saw a horrendous attack on two Jewish people with Golders Green. Do you think Jewish people are safe in London?
I think the threat to British Jews in London and elsewhere in our country has never been so great. We've seen the rise in anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic crimes. Remember what happened in the synagogue in Manchester. Remember the Jewish ambulance being set on fire. And now this horrendous attack. And our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their friends and families, and the whole Jewish community. And I think it's important that politicians come together, work with the Jewish community and take the tough measures which have been avoided up to now. For example, we've been calling for years now for the Iranian IRGC to be proscribed as a terrorist group. They foment hatred against Jewish people. They've often been involved in attacks on Jewish people. So we need to prescribe that as a terrorist group. And the Conservatives failed to do it. Labour says they're going to do it, but they've not done it yet. We need urgent action to do that.
And will you be going to Golders Green to talk to the community?
I'm about to next week go and talk to the Jewish community. I want to listen to them. That's as important as me talking to them, listening to people, hearing their concerns and hearing their ideas of what else government can do.
And that's one thing that they say, the community is saying at the moment, is that the words aren't enough anymore. What more can the government do to protect that community?
Of course, we need to work with them in terms of security, and we need to make sure the police are working hand in glove with the community to keep British Jews safe. But we also need to deal with the hatred that's being shown against them. It's appalling. Anti-Semitism must be driven out of our society, and that's one of the reasons why Liberal Democrats have called for the IRGC to be proscribed. They're part of the Iranian government, but they have spread hatred against Jews in this country and elsewhere, and they should have been proscribed as a terrorist organisation many years ago. We need to do that urgently.
What does success look like for you in these elections?
Oh, we're going to make big gains in these local elections and in Scotland and Wales. We're here in Hampshire, I expect to make big gains, and who knows, we could even be the largest party. We're fighting the Conservatives and in some places Reform, and people are coming to us. They're fed up of the way Conservatives have run Hampshire, and indeed they remember how badly they ran the country. But it's not just against Conservatives in the south of England, places like Hampshire and Hertfordshire and Huntingdonshire and Surrey and Sussex, where we can make gains. We're going to make gains off Labour in London, in boroughs like Merton and Southwark and Camden and Ealing, and then in Birmingham and in Newcastle and Stockport. I think these will be a very good set of election results for the Liberal Democrats.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but we're hearing that some Lib Dem MPs are sort of frustrated with the pace of change, and maybe the party's not achieving as much as they feel like it should be. Is that the case? Is that what you're hearing from some of your MPs?
Oh, Liberal Democrats are the most united party of any party in Parliament. We hear in the Labour Party how there's a proposal for a leadership contest almost every day. Conservatives have seen a lot of their MPs leave their party to join Reform, and Reform are divided as well. We're way more united than anyone else. Of course, I understand people are frustrated. They want to really get into government. Being in opposition can be frustrating, but I've been so proud of our great 72 MPs. They've made a real difference in Parliament. We're getting our voice heard on everything from NHS and social care to the environment, things like water, things like fly tipping, as well as being the only party standing up to Donald Trump and saying there's alternative options, working with our European allies, working with our Commonwealth allies. So we're winning the argument, and I'm very confident we're going to keep winning elections.
And you've got a pathway, do you? So obviously if these local elections go well for you, what does it look like in the next few years in terms of really getting your message across and actually making change tangible in the world in the way you want to see it, and Lib Dems changing the world around them?
Oh, we're very ambitious for our country. The last general election, we got our best result for 100 years with 72 MPs, the largest third party for 100 years. And we keep growing in local government. I think this year may be the eighth consecutive year of growth. That's never happened for our party. And I predict by the time we get to the next general election, over the next few years, we'll become one of the two biggest parties in local government. So whatever happens in the next general election, we'll be right at the centre of it.
And you were speaking yesterday about Reform and also Trump and Musk and this sort of MAGA united front against British democracy. How concerned are you by that? And do you actually think there's some kind of tangible conspiracy against British democracy there?
Well, a former senior civil servant, Philip Rycroft, did a report recently into foreign interference in our politics, and he said he was sounding the alarm bell, that we've got to be far more aware of what is happening, whether it's from Russia or China or Iran, or indeed, I regret to say, the United States with Trump's MAGA movement. The White House published a national security strategy beginning of this year, which said they wanted to effectively infiltrate politics in Europe and support very right-wing parties and movements. That should have been a wake-up call, and the Liberal Democrats are saying to people, don't let Trump's America become Farage's Britain. With Trump's America, the NHS would go, the laws to tackle guns would be loosened, and you would see that very divisive nastiness that you often see from Donald Trump. He would come here with reform. So it's right that the Liberal Democrats are sounding the alarm bell, as other people who are independent have done too.
And it's been revealed that Nigel Farage was given a £5 million donation by Christopher Harborne before he was an MP that wasn't disclosed. How concerned are you by that?
Well, I was very shocked to hear it, and it's good that he's been referred to the Standards Commissioner. We'll let them go at it. But I think people will look at that. They'll also look at the fact that Mr. Farage has lots of jobs outside politics, earns lots of money, making sometimes very offensive videos, and often doesn't appear in his own constituency in Clacton. And has got a bad attendance record of the House of Commons. He goes over to the United States to campaign for his mate Donald Trump. He actually calls Donald Trump his boss at Mar-a-Lago. I think people should look at what he says, look at what he does, and judge him. And I think he fails on every single account. And I would urge people thinking of voting reform, look at the Liberal Democrats. We actually care for local communities. We don't share the divisive politics of Nigel Farage. But if you want to have a community champion in your area, vote Liberal Democrat.
And just last one from me. So as much as Reform are a threat at the moment electorally, the Greens are also doing very well right now. Is one of them more of a target for you than the other and trying to combat them, or are you going after both? Particularly in London, they're both quite resurgent there. How do you see that playing out?
Well, we're actually making big gains off Labour and the Conservatives, because Reform and the Greens don't have many councillors, and where we're fighting them, we tend to head them off. People know that if they vote Liberal Democrat, they get voting for a serious party, a party that isn't of the extremes of the far left with the Greens or the far right with Reform, with really sensible policies. They'll get a councillor who'll be their local champion. So we go into these elections very, very confident.